Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the October 2016 Humble Bundle Review and Giveaway Series, which is to say that we are reviewing the Humble Bundle, not that this is a Humble Bundle sponsored video. Before we get started, the charity for this bundle was Direct Relief, a California-based nonprofit that provides humanitarian medical aid in all 50 states and more than 70 countries with a stated mission to improve the health and lives of people affected by poverty or emergency situations. You can find links in the description below for more information on them. The core titles for this particular bundle were the beautifully detailed action RPG Grimm Don, the positively delightful exploration-based farming simulator with a twist Slime Rancher, the adrenaline-fueled calculated rampage that is Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, the clever point-and-click adventure with its tongue wedged firmly in its cheek Deponia Doomsday, the intriguing yet stressful divided attention puzzler Train Valley, and the simple yet nuanced speedrunning platformer Action Henk. Now, we've already talked about these games and their own merits and detriments, so today we're going to focus on how they work within the context of a bundle, what their experiences offer, and whether or not it's worth the blind investment required to get it. Starting out with pure value, the $12 for the entire bundle subscription is already nearly impossible to beat. In fact, unless you aren't at all interested in the games in this bundle, or the only one you want is Train Valley, it's definitively the best option. At least when you're dealing with full price. Buying all of the games would cost you $104.94, so the bundle saves you a considerable $92.94. If you waited for all the games to go on sale, you'd fare a little better. It'd be possible to pick up 2 or 3 titles for under $12, so you might have gotten a better deal if the price of your titles didn't tickle your fancy. Still, at $43.99 for all of the games, the bundle manages to save you a nifty $31.99. Personally, I felt the total of the games felt more like an $80 haul. A lot of the games didn't quite feel like their price tag, but even still, that's $68 worth of savings, so there's that. But beyond price, there's a certain expectation that comes with purchasing a bundle. There's an adventurous spirit behind buying something without knowing exactly what it is, and figuring out if the bundle is sturdy enough to support that expectation is a pretty significant factor when discussing if something is worth its investment. Grimm Don holds a strong position in the bundle. It's a pricier game that holds a lot of interest among gamers and has a great deal of promise. Action RPGs are games that offer tons of hours of enjoyment and replayability, and this game is no exception. Not only that, but it's beautiful visually and maintains its atmosphere very well. The only real issue that I see with it being in this particular bundle is its proximity to another similar title only 2 months earlier. Still, I have to adjust its score from the previous review from a 6.5 to a solid 8. I think I took too much from it over a minor issue. After all, it is the stronger of the 2 games. Next up we have Slime Rancher, which was an absolute joy to play, until the end. But putting my personal vendetta aside, the mechanics were well executed. It was simple, it was clean, and it was a perfectly casual experience. While I enjoyed it, I can see how some people would be dissatisfied by its adorable appearance and non-threatening gameplay mechanics. Sugary Sweet isn't exactly for everyone, but it's still an experience you don't get all that often. It's a game I personally had wishlisted, and it's a nice break from a stressful day. For these reasons, Slime Rancher earns an 8 out of 10 in value. Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number is absolutely a fantastic game to have in a bundle. With the popularity and reputation of the original Hotline Miami, its sequel undoubtedly generated a lot of interest, or at the very least a cult following. The game manages to capture a lot of what made the original so great, but it also tends to come off as a bit of a disappointment. What used to be an experience you couldn't get anywhere else has become a bit more of a common thing among indie titles, and a departure from what defined it as a great game separates it even further. But it was a smart choice, and it's a game that I wanted, so I can't fault Humble Bundle for including it. Gotta give it a 9 out of 10. Deponia Doomsday has to be one of the weakest choices for a bundle title that I've seen in a long time. I might be in the minority here, but every time I see a point-and-click adventure game in my bundle, I feel a little bit let down. While I know the bundle isn't just for me, the fact that this particular game was created in response to fan criticisms from the previous 3 installments of the series, I can't help but feel like it's an oddly specific inclusion. Even if the argument is that the game stands on its own and can serve as an introduction point, it only kind of stands on its own unless you know the history. Although I enjoyed this game more than I thought I would, I still have to give it a 5 out of 10 in value. Train Valley is a surprisingly challenging puzzle game that utilizes divided attention as its main mechanic. It's a game you don't see much of, and therefore an experience you don't get all too often. While it's definitely simple and doesn't offer quite the level of depth that other games might, the bundle's already delivered enough weight to warrant a lighter game such as this one, and it's offered up enough action to balance out its slower pace. It manages to fill in a niche that was left previously open, and for that reason earns a 10 out of 10 in value. Action Henk is without a doubt the sucker punch delight of the bundle. It came in at the end with its unassuming appearance and slapped me silly with a purely unadulterated fun time. I didn't know what it was when I loaded it up, but once I played it, I was instantly glad that it was included. If there were ever a game that embodied the idea of trying something that you might have overlooked, it's Action Henk. It's fast, it's dazzling, and it's got so much to love in all of its simplicity, and for those reasons, it earns a 10 out of 10 in value. With an average score of 8.3, the Humble Bundle earns a B+ for its selections alone. Most of them were good choices from a purely logical perspective in terms of giving buyers what they think they would want. But for us consumers, we like to know how those choices played out in the end, so weighting the score against the average gameplay score of the bundle nets the Humble Monthly Bundle for October of 2016 an 8.11 out of 10, or again a B+. Not too shabby. There were of course a few other little additions they made to sweeten the deal a bit that you can consider for yourselves. Thoth, the minimalist twin-stick shooter, made its debut with its fast pace, insane difficulty, and absolutely unnerving soundtrack. Then the humble original, Fidel Dungeon Rescue, also appeared in this month's bundle, a strange strategic dungeon diving game that requires intelligent management of resources and spatial awareness. Definitely one of the better games to be produced by the Humble Bundle. Now for the giveaway portion of the video. Answering the following question in the comments below will enter you in the chance to win any core title of your choosing from this bundle. Which of my reviews that you've seen so far has been your favorite and why? Definitely not trying to be egotistical here, I'm just looking for ways to improve and tailor my content. Thank you everyone for watching. I know this is coming out about a year too late, but things have been pretty abysmal for me for a while. I'm struggling to get back on top of it. The next bundle we'll look at will be October of 2017, and we'll see if we can't double up on months from here on out until we're caught up. Until then, remember that failure is not the worst case scenario, so go on with your bad selves and stay awesome.